This is Karen from Online Healing Community. Welcome to Creating Space. This is a space for us to share stories and reflections related to personal growth and healing. And today we have with us Yin Yoga teacher and Vinyasa teacher, Jenette Vizcocho. Hi, Nettie. Welcome to Creating Space.
Hello, Karen. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being here. Today we'll talk about yoga and sustainable living. So,
Sure.
yun. Thank you for saying yes to us. But first, how did you get into yoga?
It'll be funny. I got into yoga because I thought it would help me become better at surfing. And it just so happened that I used to live in Malate and I was looking for a yoga studio because they were saying, yeah, if you practice yoga, it kind of mimics the postures or the movements that you have to do when you're surfing. So I thought if I wasn't in the water, then at least I could do something similar to it. And then it just so happened that my first yoga teacher was like a surfer. And so it kind of snowballed from there. I don't surf as much anymore, but I think, yeah, yoga's good.
Yeah,
It's
so the yoga practice stayed even if you stopped surfing na.
yeah, I mean, it's not as consistent anymore, the surfing, but then I guess that's okay too. Yoga helped with letting that go. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to win anything. I'm not going to be very good at it, and it's okay. Something
Yeah.
like that.
What made you decide to keep the practice even if you didn't surf as much
But
now?
I guess it was just something that was good to do. I mean, it felt good to do, and it was close enough to my house at that time. And I guess I connected with a lot of people that just it made sense. Like the people that I started hanging out with, the food that I eventually ate, and all the different transitions. It kind of helped that with that, something like that, if that makes sense. And mentally, it just clears your head, or it allows you to focus depending on what you're doing. And then physically, you just don't feel like you're growing so old. The body feels more limber. It feels like it's able to take on whatever it is you need to do, whether it's to sit down for Zoom or, walk around, carry things. It just feels like it helps you become prepared for that. So, all these little things, I guess.
How long have you been practicing, Nettie?
2013, 2012. So, a while, almost 9 years,
Yeah.
10, ganun.
All right. And then, when did you decide? But you started as a student, but now also you're a yin yoga teacher and a vinyasa teacher. When did you start your training?
Um,
When?
I trained. I trained in 2017. But I had to do an immersion a year before that. I
Yeah.
think I decided to do yoga training when I tried yin yoga with my
Mhm.
teacher. For some reason, it was super hard for me because I didn't really like the holds at the start. But in the end, like it's the one that kept me going back. And then it just so happened that my schedule allowed it to happen. And I guess I was just at that point where I wanted to do something different. And
Mhm.
Ian just made so much more sense at that time.
Why
Yeah.
were the holds difficult? That's my favorite part, though.
You like the holds? I don't know because unlike with, let's say, any kind of movement, like you dance or even like a vinyasa practice where it's more or less one breath, one movement, when you
Yeah.
do I mean, our teacher would always say, like, stay there for 3 to 5 minutes, and then you're left with nothing. Like, you're just there, and then you're just waiting for it to end. And so I guess it's a lot like in terms of like quieting the mind, like whatever comes up. And then also maybe the ego, like forcing a pose to happen when it doesn't want to happen, especially since
Mhm.
some of the poses can become uncomfortable. And then,
Yeah.
like, there's a part of me that I'll just grit my teeth and push myself through it, even if I really want to just like take a break or reset or something. So I don't know. That was an interesting thing for me. I
Yeah.
yeah,
3 minutes can feel like forever, especially when you're
yeah,
doing a difficult pose.
yeah. Yun nga eh, the funny thing is sometimes the poses don't look difficult or don't seem difficult. Maybe it's like how we also approach it. Like if your mind is so rigid that you want to stay or you want to force something to happen, then it's going to make it more difficult. And maybe also you pushing your body past its limit. So not
Right.
listening to where you're at for the
Yeah.
day or for the practice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're the one who introduced me to yoga. I'm really, really glad that you asked me to try Yin first. Had I tried Vinyasa, siguro I'll give up. Like first time pa lang.
No, 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 no. You'll see.
No, I feel like I am so stupid when I'm doing Vinyasa kasi I can't really, but I feel so dumb when I'm doing vinyasa kasi I can't do the flow right away. Like you go from one sequence to another, diba? I love yun because like I stay in the pose and then for like 3 to 5 minutes and then next night. So I love how gentle and how slow it is. So yeah,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, it's really good, no? It like it helps settle. Yeah,
Yeah, I love yin.
yeah.
Really love.
Me
And I
too.
feel it's more of allowing, 'di ba? Parang that's what I like. Also kasi in my life, I feel that I like try too hard. But yun kasi teaches you na parang, you know what, you don't have to try so hard. Parang you just have to
Yeah,
allow it.
yeah. My teachers are also, yeah, they echo the same thing. Like you don't need to push yourself so hard. I have vinyasa teachers who say that too. Hi Jelly. So hi Ria. So like it depends on, I guess, how you approach anything. It doesn't even have to be a practice or yoga. It can be
Yeah.
anything you approach, and like it will like your, I guess, how you want to control the outcome will always dictate how well you're gonna do. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And why is it like that? How does yoga affect a practitioner so much? Like what happens on the mat, it's not just there. Eh. It affects you even off the mat. Even what the teachers are saying, the practice.
Well, I think it takes some work. Like it, I think it just helps with the awareness. Like for me, I cannot say for others. Like I guess like at the start where they say when you do one thing, you do the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. Let's say, and
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
if I know this for myself, there are certain poses in vinyasa that I will force to happen, and then I end up falling, I end up like getting hurt, or I end up getting very very frustrated or like angry at myself. And I think when you practice yoga, you become more mindful of those instances or those habits or patterns that you have that you might not recognize when you're out in the world. Like, maybe what happens is when you're in everyday situations, you react right away and then you don't have time to reflect about it. I think what yoga really helps with, um, I don't know, helping you realize or recognize is that true, sabi ni Alan.
Yeah.
What it helps you realize is that your tendencies when you're practicing is maybe also a reflection of your tendencies when you're in your everyday dealing with other people, dealing with situations, dealing with things that you cannot control, but things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Alan agrees with you. Like how you do one thing is how you do everything. How
Yeah.
did it affect your day-to-day life, the practice? Because if you started 2013, you've been practicing for around 8 years?
I don't know math. Yes.
Yeah, 8 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Um, how has it affected? Well, I guess it just, I think it helped me with being more aware. So it
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily mean that I already know everything, but I'm aware. Like I'm aware if I have like a habit that I'm perpetuating, like something that I want to change, pero hindi ko siya, like I haven't really changed it, at least I'm aware. Like I'm aware if I am overextending myself or if I'm saying yes, but I want to say no, things like that. So it helps me become more aware. I'm aware if I'm taking it out on people when I'm supposed to, like kunwari, something happens earlier in the day, and I take it out on other
Mhm.
people, like, family, friends. So it's nice because at least you realize that, and maybe you don't get to reflect before you react or you respond, but at least you're aware na parang, oops, I did it again. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll try again next time, something like that.
So it's more of a mindfulness practice also, no?
Yeah,
Yoga.
especially for me, yin. I'm not sure how it feels for others, but that's how it feels for me when I do yin.
Mm-mm. But I saw you evolve because we work in the same clinic, and
So,
like, yeah, you're different when before the yoga practice, because I know your surfer days as well.
oh my
And
gosh.
and then you shifted to yoga, and yours how you live your life is so different. And even your choices when you got into yoga
Mhm.
change. Like
Yeah,
how did it help you I'm using the word evolve.
okay. Sure.
Because you did. And even how you live your life. And then all of a sudden, I see you na. Because for a while, I was the only vegetarian in the clinic.
That's true.
Diba?
I saw
And
you too.
that's true. And then later on, oh my gosh, Nettie is vegetarian na din. And then you didn't stop there. You got into zero waste. You got into um fashion also, some sustainable fashion. But
Yeah.
I just kept on evolving. And now you're into life force food, right? I don't know, life force cooking.
Trying. We'll see.
Yeah.
Trying to be more mindful about the food that I eat, maybe, but not necessarily like 100%. I'm there.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't know if you noticed because like I mean we work together. So sabi ko, "Oh my gosh, did Nettie see that yoga was like a turning point?" And when you did start the yoga, like you got into all this other
Yeah.
practice.
Well, I think naman, like, well, like with any, like, let's pretend we're in a high school.
Yeah.
Like when I started practicing yoga, I saw that that was the kind of life that people were, that was their lifestyle, let's say. Like our teachers would only eat certain food, they would promote like being zero waste. And initially, maybe I was just trying it out just to see, or, kind of curiosity, trying to fit in. But a lot of it made sense to me. And so, I mean, I don't think I would keep it up for this long if I felt like I just wanted to be one of the cool kids or what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it made sense naman. And then eventually, like, I realized I don't miss certain things, like when my family's eating with me, or like when I'm eating outside and they're like, don't you miss this food?
Mm.
And then I, like, no, sometimes I'll try, kasi like they'll say, can you try this? And so I think I've gone past that point where I'm like, no, I will not try it. Don't kill an animal, blah blah blah, parang ganon, because I
Right.
had that phase as well. But like, I'll try it and I'll go, okay, it's good, but it's not something that I'm looking for anymore. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not saving it. So it's not like I am depriving myself. I mean, I'm
Mm.
sure you feel the same way, diba? It's not like we're punishing ourselves and the only
No.
way to be very good is to eat this way. Parang ganun. No naman. It's just parang trying to live as kindly as you can in the way that
Mm.
makes sense to you, however that means for you. Something like that.
Right. So you
Yeah.
chose sustainable living to live kindly.
Something like that. Yeah. I mean, in the end, parang, I guess what happens is like when you start, um, like when you do one thing is how you do everything, right? So I was thinking like if I'm going to try as much as possible not to, um, how do I say this? Like if I try to eat food without having any being suffer,
Yeah.
then why would I do the same? Like why would I consume so much plastic? So it's the same, diba? Like parang it's gonna go somewhere and then another being will suffer. I don't know how, like floods or something, diba?
Yeah.
Just like all this pollution. And then, yeah, not buying bottled water. Teacher Karen. I call you Karen. So things like that. It just made sense na parang if it's not such a big hassle for you. Like I remember when I was in elementary naman, I wouldn't buy bottled water. I wouldn't buy like um I wouldn't eat out of like plastic containers or use like disposable um spoons and forks. We had a big thermos, we had a big baunan, and that's all we used. And it wasn't hard then. So what makes it hard now? It,
Right.
yeah,
I
parang
agree with you. I think it's more of like just going back to basics. Kaya lang
yeah,
for a long time, we've just been parang in a way in trained or we've been taught now, you know what, you can just like consume, consume, and consume. But
yeah. And I'm
mm,
sorry. And I guess that's where the mindfulness comes in because I remember when I started transitioning the food that I ate, and you were the only vegetarian at work, and Sister Nori wasn't selling her food yet. I was
mm,
always feeling so like I was so frustrated that I had nothing to eat because
mm,
we like the clinic would order food, right? And it
mm,
wasn't always like it was McDo and it was Jollibee and it was KFC. And then I would feel so bad that I would have nothing to eat. And then I would blame it on everyone else. Like parang there's nothing to eat. They should fix this problem. Whereas I was beginning to realize if there's nothing to eat, then it is my problem to fix. And so I started
mm,
like either buying my own food or like preparing whatever and then bringing it to work. And it wasn't so hard. You just need to be more intentional and mindful. Whereas you don't just wing everything. That you get to work and then you're like, what am I gonna eat? Okay, never mind. Bahala na lang. Something like that. So yeah, that was something that I had to come to terms with, especially eating with my family. If I have nothing to eat, it's my fault. Something like that.
mm, mm. So you're more of
Yeah.
taking responsibility for it. But how does
Yeah.
it look like sustainable living?
Well, I mean, I think I started off like I think that's what I noticed with myself. When I start off, I'm very hardcore. Like yun nga, I go somewhere and if they don't have water to give, I will not drink until I find a restaurant that will give me water. Right? That's what I used to be like. Or if I would buy something, I would feel really bad if there was plastic packaging in it or things like that. And I used to
Mm,
hoard like all my empty milk cartons, and then I couldn't dispose of it naman. So parang the house was beginning to look like a recycling center. It's,
mm,
parang I realized that it's not sustainable for me to do that because it's hard to maintain like keeping all of those things. Uh, it's hard to be so hardcore on yourself. And so what I
mm,
try to do na lang is if it's possible for me not to consume any plastic, or if it's possible for me not to create more waste. Like I try as much as possible not to. It's been harder this pandemic, of course,
yeah.
because you have limited resources, but it's getting better. It's slowly opening up. I think one way that I reduce waste is to cook my own food, because if I order, like let's say I love so many vegetarian and vegan places here, but if you order out, then they're gonna give you containers. And I tried giving my container to them, and then I would get so frustrated if they didn't use it. And I remember
Mm,
you asked me this, like, why are you so mad if they don't use your container? And I was
yeah.
saying, because it's another plastic thing out there. But yeah,
Mm,
it's hard. It's hard for everyone. So I think just managing how you consume is
right.
one like good way.
Yeah. How did you transition from being hardcore to being gentler now with yourself?
I guess because I got thirsty. Joke. Yung water.
Tell us
So
about that. What's the craziest thing you did to adhere to
so
this practice of living sustainably?
yeah, I was on vacation at Boracay with my friends, and we were out the whole day or the whole night, and then I had my water bottle with me, and I was looking for someone to refill it, and they bought their own water, and they were trying to give me sips. I was like, no, I'm gonna look for a restaurant that will give me water. So yeah, or like I'll spend more money to get free water. Like I'll buy a meal, so they'll give me water. So things like that, and then when you try to do the math, or when you try to um like just process what happened. Parang who suffered? Like, okay, so I didn't generate waste, but I kind of suffered. So I guess things like that, like in retrospect, you realize you can be a bit hardcore. I'm sure someone told me rin. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's
It's
that experience that
yeah.
time when you couldn't find water in Boracay. But
Yeah.
I remember also in Europe you didn't want to drink because they don't have water, bottled
Oh no
water.
no no. I was carrying 4 water bottles. I was carrying it for my whole family. I was carrying it for my family kasi nga, I was saying, no, we're not gonna buy. And it's super expensive there anyway. Like, parang
Right.
places won't be giving you water for free unless, like, it's either a very fancy restaurant or not fancy at all. Like, in between.
Right.
They're
Right.
gonna sell it to you. But, like, the water there is potable. And so, yeah, I was carrying 4 bottles of water na lang.
Wow, all over Europe because
Yes.
of the sustainable living. Wow. Why are you so committed? But you are, because you're the first person who told me about bamboo toothbrush. I learned about like using promise. I learned to use baking soda's toothpaste from you, and you told me about charcoal and this sticks also. You're the first one who told me about the straws, not to use the straw. It's really something you're passionate about, and it's something you live by. Why are you
What
so committed to this?
I I don't know. I guess maybe like you well, there was a beach that we used to go to a lot in Davao, and then it's so clean. Like the water is, it's like a pool. It's so clear. And then yon, there will be times like depending on the season, there would be waste coming in. And so like mamaya you're swimming or you're surfing, and then there's a diaper, swimming in it. You just parang you just realize like everything that is in front of you will eventually go to the water. Will eventually like get stuck somewhere. And so I don't know. I guess it kind of clicked. I mean, I would have to say like I tried the bamboo toothbrush. It kept giving me like cuts. And
Yeah,
so I told myself I don't think I would be killing the planet so much if I didn't use a bamboo toothbrush.
right, right,
I tried so
right,
many
right.
times. Wala eh.
Yeah.
And then that's,
So
I guess,
it's
that's one way then to be kinder to myself. Because if
yeah,
I'm giving myself like wounds just so that I can be sustainable, like, ang hirap naman nun.
right, right. So it's about kindness to earth because you love the beach, no? Like
Something
you
like
were
that. Yeah, I mean,
saying, and
yeah,
kindness to others. It
yeah.
stems from that.
Because it's so sad. Like, if you go somewhere really nice, like let's say Pulag, and then you're surrounded by all this beauty, but then you see that there's like McDonald's wrappers or whatever. Like it kind of just kills that parang purity of the place.
That's
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
I completely agree. And I love what you're saying now. You're doing it out of kindness for others and for the planet and for the animals. But sometimes when you were starting out, you weren't kind to yourself. So
yeah,
there should be a balance that yeah, I'm kind to others, but I should also
yeah.
practice kindness. Yeah. Because remember we were talking about like how some people are so hardcore that they're fighting other people because
Yeah,
of
I don't wanna be that anymore. I mean, I remember. I'm sure I did that a lot to my family then. Hi, Adessa. Like, I'm sure I did that to my family a lot. Like, parang, I would always throw it back to them because they would question, like, they would just ask, like, why do you eat this way? Why do you practice this kind of lifestyle? And then I would throw it back to them. And now when they ask me questions, like, either I answer them if I know that they're asking out of curiosity, or like, I just let them make their jokes. It's okay. Yeah.
so your
Yeah.
family supports it now, your lifestyle.
Oh yeah, like my parents are very they're funny kasi they don't like, especially my dad, like he wouldn't like the food, but he would always bring me to places that have those kinds of food. Like yeah, they brought me to the farm, nag anniversary date sila, sinama nila ako doon. Tapos yung dati
Mhm.
ko complain, but then he knew that I like the place, I like the food.
Right,
So
right,
yeah,
right.
they're trying to understand it as well. Yeah.
Right. But initially, were they supportive na right away?
Well, not so much because I mean, because diba, when you grow up and then I remember before I was a tocino girl or like what else did I really like? Spanish sardines, yung ganon, and that's what you
Mhm.
eat and that's what you ask for. And then all of the sudden, like the next time you eat with them, they're like, "Oh, why don't you eat this anymore?" And so I think it's a lot about um, well, how you were brought, like let's say we all grew up together, my siblings, diba? And we were all eating the same food. And then all of a sudden, someone has something else, like someone wants to eat something else. And then parang they're all like, oh no, but what are we gonna feed you? Or oh no, but we don't like to eat that. So, it's a balance right, of respecting what they eat and having them respect what I do, what I
Yeah.
eat.
Because it's in the Philippines, kasi parang in other countries, people like the whole family is vegetarian. But here in
Yeah,
the Philippines, diba, parang if you're vegetarian, if you're vegan, if you follow a certain lifestyle, it's just you. And
you're
that's
a
what I
hippie.
feel. And then everybody's pitying you because you're only eating like this. So
I
for me, I find
know.
it hard with my especially with when I'm with my family.
Yeah,
Well, because they're the first one who tell me na, kawawa ka naman, or why are
well,
you not
I think
eating?
ano rin. I mean, I'm sure your family has gotten used to it, diba? I mean, parang they're more mindful of you as well. Like, I don't know. That's what my mom does. She always has something for me to eat in her freezer. She buys
Oh,
food
that's
and stuff. Yeah, and then my
sweet.
brother-in-law cooks for me a lot. He cooks really well. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And my
And now
sister,
you're cooking as
there's
well.
like,
Oo. And now
yeah,
you cook na rin.
yeah, I do. I try.
Yeah, there's this life force. You're into life force cooking, right?
I'm trying.
Also, it's really a lifestyle kasi you look at it, you started doing yoga and then you became vegetarian and then later on you're into sustainable living, you're into zero waste, you're into life force cooking. So it looks like it's not just a practice, it's really a lifestyle for you, no?
Yun nga. I guess kasi nga, well, I remember the reason why I stopped eating meat are two things. Two things. First, the teacher, I was in a forward fold and I was finding it really hard. And then the teacher adjusted me and then she said, "You wouldn't eat your dog. Why would you eat a cow?" And then I don't know. I guess because I was in such a hard posture. I was like, "Oh my god, okay, I won't eat it anymore." Something like that. And then like number two, like I would remember before going to class, I would eat kasi before going to yoga class, which you know, they kind of like tell you as much as possible, don't be full when you come to class, diba? I would eat. And then I would feel like if I ate something heavy, let's say like I ate meat, it would be so hard for me to move. Versus if I ate something lighter. So yeah.
Yeah,
Ayun.
yeah,
Mm.
I
And then
completely agree with you on
it
that.
just follows. Like if you're I don't think naman change is just one thing, diba? It's
Right.
you keep changing. I mean, yun nga, the fact that, well, I used to only eat junk food na vegetarian. So it's like, okay, I'm not gonna eat tocino anymore, but I'm gonna eat vegan tocino. So, booyah! Parang ganon. So, sinong panalo? Something like that. And then you realize there's other things that you can eat rin naman pala. And then
Right,
you
right.
also feel it in your body na parang you feel energetic. And I think kasi when I enrolled in the Life Force cooking class by Asha, Psychology of
Yeah.
Food, what? They're running this year. I must say, I felt I was so sick when I took her class. I was
Mm-hmm.
sick for the whole week. And then parang we were just eating soups and broths and stews and all that. And then after maybe 2, 3 days, I was feeling really, really good. And so I realized that I can't just substitute what I'm not eating anymore for something that looks and tastes like what I used to eat and say I'm doing a good job or I'm being, like I'm being healthy because of course we're like sometimes I wouldn't even eat anything color green. I'd be eating vegetarian or vegan, but nothing was like gulay
Fresh.
or
Yeah.
fresh. For us, it was all tapa, tocino, hot dog. So, parang, what am I doing nga naman? And then, when I
Mm,
started to eat her food, I just realized na parang there is so much that you can do with the food that you have. And, like, it depends on, like, how you combine them. And then you won't feel like you're depriving yourself. And then she had like a really good talk. And she had guests come in, and she herself talked about your food and where it comes from, and where does it come from? It comes from the earth, diba? And so if you eat food that comes from the earth and it is in season, like it is supposed to be there, and it's not imported or manufactured or packaged, like you take it, the nutrients that you take in are what you need for that time. So like when it's colder, you eat something that will make you feel grounded and warm and like parang yung comfort food. And then in the morning you eat something that will wake you up. So it just made sense na you don't just eat because you're craving something. You eat something that will actually sustain you and sustains the earth as well because you're eating what is planted. And so parang it's a cycle, I guess. Something like that.
When
Yeah.
I look at it, everything that you're doing is actually very sustainable. Like if you're eating healthy, taking care of the body, choosing even the what you buy. Because I know you're the one who introduced me to ritual. You're the one who introduced me to like shampoo bars and all that. But when
Yeah.
you look at it, it's a circle. Like I when I look at it, sustainability is like a circle. Like you said, it's a cycle. If you keep on doing it, then it allows for life to continue.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Yeah.
Well, what
For
I'm
the
trying to do.
I'm cool. I actually love it. And no, that's what I notice also from people that I interview. Even if they just go in, if they start somewhere, like it can be meditation or sustainable living, or they can start at zero waste. Even if you just start at one part, you'll end up doing everything
I think so.
else.
Yeah.
Diba? Kasi parang in a way, you won't see it initially, but they're all connected.
Yeah, I mean, yun nga eh. Kasi parang, I guess there will be, there, like, let's say, kunwari, no, I was eating this certain way, I was practicing yoga, I was doing mindfulness, but, let's say, I couldn't control drinking. Then parang there would be something off tangent, diba? And so, parang, in order for me, I remember we talked about this, like, parang, how you can be very, very like very stimulated or like have so much reaction, so much emotions, and you can be understimulated and feel nothing. And then there could be equanimity.
Yeah.
That I remember we spoke about this, and I guess that's kind of like what I'm trying to do. Like where if I'm over, like parang how do I go back? And then if I like I
Yeah.
feel nothing anymore, how do I go back? So it's kind of
Right.
like that what I'm doing, so that I don't punish myself if I indulge in something, and I also don't not do anything or I don't become too rigid and too hardcore where I don't enjoy anything naman. And so it's kind of like a balance of how do you find all of that and still feel like yeah, still feel
Yeah.
like you're home. Something like that.
It's a balance of
Yeah.
everything. And when you're talking about that, like that state of equanimity, what I also see is it's more of an alignment also. Like you're practicing yoga for kindness. So why can't you eat kindly also? And if you're eating kindly, why don't you dress consciously and choose something that's sustainable? And if you're doing that for your dress, might as well do that for your household. So it's really aligned. It's about if you talk about kindness, then then you practice it in all different areas of your life.
Hopefully, yeah.
Oh, that's how
Yeah,
it
same.
is. So that's why it's not so difficult. Because if you're an outsider looking at like from an outsider's perspective, looking at like somebody who's living a life like this, it can seem hard, eh? Like,
Oh yeah.
oh, like
Yeah.
she has to prepare her food, well she can't order from just from anywhere, and she has to bring her baon so it is
Yeah.
sustainable. So and like with you carrying 4 packs of water, so it's sustainable. I mean, it can really look hard, but
Yeah.
when you're talking about kindness, but when you look at the intention, then it's not so hard because because I'm kind to myself and I'm kind to others and I'm kind to the earth. And so it just evolves from there. Ang galing! You're so wise, Nanette! Oh my gosh!
Thanks. Okay, sure.
Because like we've been
Wow.
like, we've seen each other for like more than a decade. So we
Yeah.
like yeah. I won't say like how long recently, but so
Yeah.
I really seen how
Yeah.
you've evolved. So there. Galing. And now you're not just a student, you're also a teacher. You're a certified yin yoga teacher and certified vinyasa teacher. What made you decide to finally in a way level up?
I think it was just timing. You know, I took my first yin class and I found it so. I thought before that yin was you had many pillows and you would lie down and fall asleep. And so I was there was a point that that was all I wanted to practice. Like I wasn't even doing any like I wasn't doing any kind of yang practice. There's no yin and yang anyway. Pero parang I was avoiding vinyasa. I was avoiding anything that was hard. And so I just wanted to go to a class and lie down. And then I took a yin class where the teacher was trained by my teacher. And I almost died because we did the talk toes and we were staying for very, very long. Because I was feeling like, and I guess it just like it pulled up a lot of like thoughts and emotions. Like I was angry and I was like giving up and I was like all those emotions in like 3 minutes. And so parang I didn't like it at that time. But then when you come out of the post, all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, thank you so much. Yung parang ganon. I think that was the feeling. And then I just kept going to the classes and I met all these wonderful teachers. And then it just so happened that my teacher came to the Philippines and then he had an immersion. And initially I just wanted to do the immersion just to get to know the practice better because it was like mind-boggling. Parang, why would you do something for 3 minutes? Why would you do something for 5 minutes? Why would you squat for 5 minutes, let's say? So, it was just something interesting for me because you unlike a vinyasa practice, which I'm grateful to yin too, I can be less mindful when I do a vinyasa practice because you have to keep moving, right? And so I'm just gonna go bang, bang, next, and then mamaya I'm hurting my knees, I'm hurting my wrists, I'm forcing something. When you do yin, you have to stay and you have to kind of like keep assessing like how do you feel, are you pushing too hard, are you like are you putting equal weight on both feet, are you straining, and that's how I initially I felt all the physical responses. Like I would always be clenching my teeth or like my tongue would be pressing up to the roof of my mouth like it wanted to break free, things like that. And so I think it just helped me analyze these things, and then from there, like what are the thoughts that are coming up, and then what are the emotions that are coming from those thoughts, so things like that. So I like that feeling and I like being able to pinpoint those things, so I kept going back. And then he had a training, and so I just took that as well. I felt like I wanted to share that kind of feeling because I don't know, it's hard to explain. I guess it's like I don't know, have you felt that when you meditate and then parang you feel like you're flying?
Yeah,
That was the
yeah.
feeling that I would feel if I would practice yin, and so I wanted to just like share that high.
Yeah, you would feel like you're flying when you're doing yin.
Yeah, especially if it's Victor leading. I don't know why, even if it's online.
Yeah.
I don't know
Like
if it's
people
practice.
ask me, they ask me because I've been doing yoga for a long time, like Raja yoga before the physical yoga. And they ask me, do yogis really fly? Because there's this myth that yogis levitate, right? And I will tell them, you know what, it's true and false because you don't actually fly. Your physical body doesn't fly, but your mind flies because you
Yeah,
feel so light and so your mind levitates in a
yeah.
way. Oh, Jelly is saying, laugh out loud. Tama ba? Lol. I totally witnessed that thought process in her vinyasa YTT.
Hello, Jelly.
Yeah. Because you're very reflective, no? Yin allows you to be reflective. I love it
Maybe.
because, yeah. And
Yeah,
I
maybe.
love it because it's very meditative. It's not,
Yes, that's what I like about it also. It's very ano lang, like if you don't fight the feelings, then it's okay. I
true, true.
I remember well, I was forcing taktos talaga before. Right? Like, let's do this. Come on. Parang ganon. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I love yin. It allows for allowing. It's more of, yeah, allowing, letting
Oh,
it
I like that.
be. Yeah, so if you're a type A personality, it's good for you. But
I don't know if I'm type A because there are
I'm
things
not
that
type A, ha?
I'm not, diba? But I have a
But
lot of
type A personalities are the people who say they're not. So probably we are because we're saying we're not.
type A. No, I'm not.
Ayun, we have to tell you that actually, Nettie is my Yin yoga teacher. So what I do when she was I here back in Manila, but when the studios are open, what I do is I'd follow her in different studios, and her studios are like so far away. Like she'd go to Ortigas, she'll tell me, Karen, I'm here in Ortigas. I'll go to Ortigas and take her class. Oh, now I'm here in Makati, this place in Makati. So I'd go to Makati.
Yeah, thank
Now I'm in
you.
Legazpi naman. So what I do is I'd really follow her class around. Kasi somebody told me, if you find a good, yeah, a teacher that you can relate to, a teacher that you like, then you follow her.
Grabe ka naman. I'm younger than you in everything.
Yeah, but you're my teacher
I'm
in
proud of
yin
you.
yoga.
That's true.
That's
I'll
our
accept. I'll
You
accept.
are. You're my teacher in Yin Yoga. And I really, really love it. And so here at Online Community, we're so happy because we're going to offer Nettie's Yin Yoga class this next Wednesday. Not tomorrow, ha? But it's
I'll do
going to,
that tomorrow.
yeah,
Bongga!
go there. Yeah. What will they expect from this class, Nettie?
Oh my gosh. What nga ba? Well, it's a night class, right? So
Yeah.
definitely it will prepare your body for rest. And so if you're having a hard time sleeping, and I'm sure this has happened to everyone. The pandemic has made my sleep whack. Like there will be days I'm asleep and then there will be days 3 a.m. I'm awake pa. So, it just the practice of yin that I really like is it follows the Chinese medicine, the body clock, according to traditional Chinese medicine. So, like, nighttime practice would be a lot of reclining, a lot of forward bends, a lot of seated. So, it's just like preparing your body to rest because
Mhm.
maybe we forget that, especially if we are always like this on our phones, like distracting ourselves, watching something, refusing to sleep. I think it's just a good practice for that. And another thing that I really like to teach is yun nga, mindfulness in the way of being aware of how your body is. Like, how's your body tonight? How's your breathing? Um, do you feel like emotions are coming up as you come into different poses? So yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
We have there's a question here. Raymundo Salazar is asking, can senior citizens still start practicing yoga?
I think anyone at any age can practice yoga. I think it's more of just being aware of your body. Like if you know that you have certain conditions, like medical conditions or health conditions, you can always ask your doctor first. If you know that you have certain injuries or like if certain body parts are just not like if you have pre-existing injuries, then make sure to always listen to your body because the teacher is just there to facilitate the practice, but you don't have to do everything. If you feel like you can't breathe in a pose, if you feel like it's too much for you to do, then always dial back. Teachers will hopefully give, I hope I will give options, but always listen to your own body. And there are so many kinds of yoga practices. There's chair yoga if you want to try first, something more chill and you're just seated. And you can always try a restorative practice first. Yin is also a good place to start from because it's more gentle and there's more time to come into and get out of the pose, so you don't have to keep catching up with the rest of the class. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually practiced yin yoga before the pandemic, really early in the morning because I don't
Wow.
like many people in the studio, and usually my classmates are senior citizens for yin
Yeah.
yoga. Like I'm the youngest one usually. So it's okay, 'di ba? I mean, I think lalo na for yin yoga, it's okay for
Yeah.
even for senior citizens.
I've had students yun na senior citizens, and what I love about yin is what I love about yoga. Period is that you can use as many props as you have available for you, and you can always be creative. Books, chairs, table, pillows, blankets, towels, whatever it is that you have at home, you can always use it to help support you in your practice so that you don't have to push your body to come
Yeah.
in whatever shape whatever pose.
Right. That's so true. Especially now that we're just confined in our homes, we really need to move.
Yeah,
That's
it's true.
I like what you said about like sleeping. Like for a long while, there's because you're just at home, I really sense that my sleeping pattern got disrupted
Mhm.
because ayun, until I have to go back to a certain routine. Then I
Yeah,
have to help myself.
yeah, that's true.
But I like this class because it's going to be from 8 to 9. So after the class, they can just like sleep. Parang pwede
You
bang
can
diretso.
come to your class in pajamas if that is your wish.
Di ba? Kasi they can do it in Zoom. Yeah. So you
Yeah.
can Yeah, you can join us, and we will have free trial class. There's a link there on the Facebook page. You can just click there. It's going to be on February 10 at 8 p.m. So if you're not sure if this is for you, just you can just like try the trial class this
Yeah.
Wednesday. Yeah. Does Natty, we usually end with like a prayer or meditation. Can you please guide them?
Oh, okay, we're in a great. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi. For everyone, hello. All right. Try to find your most comfortable seated position. So, you may be sitting on a chair, on your bed, or on the floor. Make sure that you feel supported in your seat. You can rock from side to side so that you feel both sit bones just press down onto whatever surface you're sitting at. And then start to feel the sit bones really heavy down. Allow the spine to just follow that length of your sit bone, pressing all the way down, and then just reaching the spine all the way up towards the ceiling. So creating space. You can place your hands on top of your thighs, maybe palms up or palms down for now. And I guess the first thing that we can do is just really listen to the breathing. So whatever breath pattern you have right now, you don't even have to change it. Just listen to your inhales. Listen to your exhales. You don't even have to make it louder or more audible. Just be aware of it. And if your eyes are still open, you can slowly blink them shut. Start to feel where your breath is going. On your inhale, where do you feel the breath go? Maybe you feel it through your nostrils, coming down your throat, all the way through your chest, maybe all the way down to your belly. And when you let that breath go, travel with your breath, moving from your belly all the way back up and out of your nose. On your next inhale, just start to feel your belly puff up, expand. Every exhale, just slowly bring the belly back towards the spine. Doing this for a few more breaths. Being aware of what is around you, whatever sounds you hear, whatever whatever shadows or lights you see, whatever other senses occur to you, just being aware. Whenever you're ready, just bring your hands together in front of your heart. Bow your head down. And maybe this is the first time you ask yourself for this day, what do you need? What does the body need? What is the body looking for? Whatever occurs to you, that is the correct answer, whether it is rest, movement, food, hydration. Honor that in your body, creating that connection so that when the body tells you something, you're aware and you can respond to it. Bow the head down to the heart and thank yourself for being present, for taking this time, for trusting your body. Whenever you're ready, just slowly blink the eyes open. The hands can by the sides. How we doing?
I miss yin yoga. Oh my
I
god. I'm so
I
excited.
missed it.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah,
And that's just like a few minutes. Imagine a full hour of it.
yeah.
Ang galing. So hopefully we'll see you February 10. And I love what you said at the start when you said it's about creating space. And I feel that's what yin yoga is for me. Ha? It's about creating space for my body, for my mind, and for my spirit. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what it is for
creating
me.
space, sharing
Yeah.
stories and reflections. Sorry.
Yun ba, what I love with you is you're not like the typical teacher, yoga teacher na you have to be like very calm the whole time. It's so fun with
Yeah.
Nettie because she's like that. She's just like laughing and funny and she's
Oh,
just
because they make fun of me. No,
but
sila
I
Trish.
really love
I
that.
know sila Trisha. They make fun of me if like you're using your yoga voice. I'm like, I don't want to have a yoga voice. What is that? I don't know. Like I'm sure I have one, but then I kind of want to still be myself.
Yeah,
It,
that's what I love with your class. That you're like because sometimes there's a like a typical I don't know, a typical yoga teacher like they're all calmado and quiet and calm. Yeah. Or Raymundo Salazar said, that felt good. Thanks, Miss
Thank you,
Jenette.
Mr. Raimundo.
I enjoyed her class. There's a trial form there. So, final words for everybody watching and listening, Nettie.
Um, Thank you. I hope that you're having a good. What day is it? I hope you're having a good
Okay.
stream.
It's okay. It's a
And
different day
listen
in
to
some
your
parts of the
body.
world.
I know I don't know what day it is now. Yeah, yeah, I hope to see you all soon, whether
Yeah.
here or in another class through
Yeah.
online healing community. Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to start joining that in. Yeah.
Yeah, there. So the class is going to be on February 10th, but you can sign up now. Hopefully, we can see you there. So, because here in the online healing community, we can only promote teachers that we can vouch for, and I really vouch for Nettie. That's our promise to the community. Kasi, di ba, there's so many people. So, yan. So really, I've really been
Grabe,
following your
Karen.
class forever. Hindi, I really love your class. Like, I'll follow you
Thank
for
you.
3 Makati. So, yan. So, I
That's true.
really love
That's
your class. So, please,
true.
you can just try it if you want, and then just check it out for yourself. But thank you for
Yeah.
joining us, Nettie. Thank you for
Thank
this
you,
inspiration.
Karen.
And thank you everyone for watching and listening. We'll see you soon. Okay, bye. Bye for now.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank
Bye.
you, Nettie.